Было. Блядь. Ебать, заснял. Ёбаный в рот.
Еще один сбит.
Overnight, Moscow Oblast came under yet another drone attack, continuing a now familiar pattern of aerial incursions deep into Russian territory. According to Russian authorities, 2 drones were intercepted before reaching their intended targets. But loud explosions were reported in the capital, sparking concern among residents. As a precaution, Vnukovo Airport suspended arrivals, and a second major airport also temporarily halted operations. While officials insist all threats were neutralized, the growing frequency of these incidents is raising questions about the effectiveness of Russia's air defense systems near the capital. A full damage assessment is still underway. The drone operators of Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade have turned a large batch of Russian equipment into scrap metal. These are scenes from a successful hunt targeting Russian armor, weapons, and logistics in the Kharkiv region. The Ukrainian 3rd Assault Brigade has been increasingly relying on drones to strike Russian positions with precision and speed. Operating both reconnaissance and attack UAVs, their drone units identify enemy trenches, armor, and troop concentrations before coordinating direct hits. These drones provide real-time intelligence, enabling swift artillery or infantry response. In recent weeks, the brigade's drone teams have played a key role in halting Russian advances and disrupting supply routes across key front lines. Russia is not just liberating Ukrainian territories, it's also bringing its own brand of improvements. For example, this is how Russia has improved the quality of water in occupied Donetsk.
25 июня. Вот такая вода у нас подается из крана. Это ужас. Это просто капец.
Zelensky. Today, alongside Council of Europe Secretary, General Alain Berset, we signed an agreement to establish a special tribunal for the crime of aggression against Ukraine. The Hague awaits the perpetrators. Justice must and will be served. President Donald Trump will buck Europe's pleas to ratchet up sanctions on Russia, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Wednesday, saying the U.S. still wants room to negotiate a peace deal. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and other European leaders are hoping to convince Trump later on Wednesday to add more sanctions on Moscow, particularly after Russian President Vladimir Putin has repeatedly rebuffed American attempts to broker a ceasefire with Ukraine. If we did what everybody here wants us to do, and that is come in and crush them with more sanctions, we probably lose our ability to talk to them about the ceasefire and then who's talking to them, Rubio said in an exclusive interview with Politico's Dasha Burns on the sidelines of the NATO summit. Trump will know the right time and place for new economic measures, and the administration is working with Congress to make sure they allow Trump the appropriate flexibility, Rubio said. But once that happens, he added, it means the window for talking with Russia is likely closed. If he does it, you're almost admitting that this is not going to be negotiated anytime soon, Rubio said. We're going to continue to engage, he said, in the sense that if there's an opportunity for us to make a difference and get them to the table, we're going to take it. The White House is working with Senator Lindsey Graham on his bill, which would impose a 500% tariff on imported goods from countries that buy Russian oil, gas, uranium, and other products if Moscow refuses to engage in good faith diplomacy with Ukraine. We've talked to them about how to frame it, how to structure it, because ultimately, we think it needs to have enough flexibility for the president to be able to impose sanctions, and we haven't taken off any of the sanctions that we have on, he said. As talks with Russia have stalled, Rubio said Moscow believes it can achieve its territorial goals on the battlefield, an assessment Washington disagrees with. Our sense of it is that the Russians are going to try to achieve in the battlefield what they've demanded in the negotiating table, which is certain territories maintain their administrative lines and the like, he said. We think it's going to be a lot harder for them to achieve that than they think it's going to be.
Bloody, it's destructive, it's nonsensical.
Russian propagandist Vladimir Solovyov, during a live broadcast, complained that his iPhone is allegedly being hacked by Ukrainians. In the same breath, he called for the destruction of the city of Dnipro.
For example, yes, right now I am receiving a wild number of messages, an attempt to hack my phone. I have a question. Don't we have specialists working in phone companies who can solve this problem of phone fraud? So, Ukrainians have specialists who can do this, but in our phone companies there's no one? So they have to do it manually every time?
When?
Absolutely and rightfully. Stanislav Kuznetsov was talking about Sberbank's efforts to stop this wave of phone fraud. Are we at the state level unable to solve this? This simplest question. Well, wipe Dnipro off the face of the earth. The city formerly known as Dnipropetrovsk, a center of global fraud.
Who the hell needs it? Erase it, destroy it. Have the entire population leave, blow everything up.
Declare all the people involved in these schemes as terrorists. Execute a few publicly. And within our country find the accomplices who are incapable of implementing systems to stop this flow.
Poland's lower house of parliament, the Sejm, has passed a bill to withdraw from the Ottawa Convention, which bans the use, production, stockpiling, and transfer of anti-personnel landmines. Ukraine must immediately follow Poland, Finland, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania in withdrawing from the Ottawa Convention. This is the right decision, which contributes to protecting countries from Russian aggression. Ukraine cannot be bound by any restrictions when it comes to defending its people from the terrorist state of Russia. Donald Trump's dialogue with Ukrainian reporter.
White shirt. Oh, she's all excited.
So, BBC News Ukrainian.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ukraine.
Oh.
So my question to you is whether or not the US is ready to sell anti-air missile systems Patriot to Ukraine. We know that Russia has been pounding Ukraine really heavily right now.
Are you living yourself now in Ukraine?
My husband is there.
Wow.
And
I can see you very, it's amazing.
And me with the kids, I'm in Warsaw actually, because he wanted me to be.
Is your husband a soldier? No?
He's
there now?
Yeah.
Wow. That's rough stuff, right? That's tough. And you're living here?
In Warsaw.
And you're a reporter?
I am.
Good. So let me just tell you, they do want to have the missiles, okay, as they call them, the Patriots. And we're going to see if we can make some available, They're very hard to get. We need them too. We were supplying them to Israel. And they're very effective, 100% effective. Hard to believe how effective. And they do want that more than any other thing, as you probably know. That's a very good question. And I wish you a lot of luck. I mean, I can see it's very upsetting to you. So.
U.S. intel says the strikes on Iran didn't destroy nuclear facilities. They only delayed the program by a few months, CNN reports. Trump lashed out in response, calling CNN and NYT fake news in a furious post on his social network. Trump reads a letter from Israel's Atomic Energy Commission stating that a devastating U.S. strike on Fordo destroyed critical infrastructure at the site and completely disabled the enrichment complex.
A letter just came in, and a statement came in from the Atomic Energy Commission of Israel. And I just wondered, this is an official letter, and they're very serious people, as you know. The devastating U.S. strike on Fordo destroyed the site's critical infrastructure and rendered the enrichment facility totally inoperable. It was devastated. We assess that the American strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities has set back Iran's ability to develop nuclear weapons for many years to come. This achievement can continue indefinitely if Iran does not get access to nuclear material, which it won't. It's so sad that whole thing had to go. But I just want to thank our pilots. They were maligned and treated very bad, demeaned by fake news CNN, which is back there, believe it or not, wasting time, nobody's watching them. So they're just wasting a lot of time, wasting my time.
Latvia has delivered 1,300 domestically produced combat drones to the Ukrainian Defense Forces. Andris Spruds, Latvia's Minister of Defense, announced this. The drones, designed for a variety of missions, are being supplied as part of an international coalition supporting Ukraine with unmanned aerial technology. The Latvian minister also posted photos of the shipment sent to Ukraine on his X account. These drones are part of a total of 12,000 UAVs that 2 Latvian companies are set to produce in the first half of 2025, valued at 17 million euros for the needs of Ukrainian defenders. The funding for the purchase and delivery of these drones is provided by the International Drone Coalition Fund. The previous batch of UAVs, which Minister Spruds also announced, was sent to Ukraine at the end of May. It consisted of 1,500 units. Ukraine's Special Operations Forces also use Latvian Ray catamaran drones. They can be used to transport cargo, the wounded, and weapons across inland waterways.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.